The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's happening, my boy?
Well, half of my Super Bowl prediction is already eliminated. The other half is still competing. I don't want them to win now. Yeah, that's how it goes.
I had Baltimore, San Francisco, but Baltimore let me down, and I thought San Francisco was gonna let me down, but Detroit kind of choking out there a little bit.
Yeah. I'm looking like Kayshon Boutte made my picks on my parlay, and we ain't looking too good. It's gonna be a whole lot of red, and it look like it's gonna be a whole lot of red in the Super Bowl. So
still got a quarter left to play for Detroit to find a way, but it ain't looking like they're gonna pull it out right now. The way momentum going.
Yeah. So we gonna see, man. But man, we got another hot one. You know what I'm saying? Got some things to talk about. The best college basketball game of the season. Men, women, doesn't matter. The best game of the season, in my opinion, thus far. It outshined some NBA games in viewership. So definitely got to talk about that. Got to talk about the men's team. Got to talk about we had a question about the legacy. I wonder how that changes now that we, starting to see how this stuff is going. So
right.
Yeah, so here we go. We got to do get a shout out to our sponsor over on BetOnline. BetOnline.ag will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey, and we are back. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. I alluded to it, talked about it. Kayshon Boutte gets arrested for illegal sports betting. Shannon Sharp did him and Ocho Cinco got together on their podcast and talked about it. He gave him Dum Dum of the Week. Thoughts, man, because it's the story gets worse and worse. The more I think about it and how things go.
Man, dude got a problem, bro. When you place the amount of bets that he placed in that time span, I think they said it was something like 23 bets a day over like a 9-month period or something like that. Like that's unheard of, bro.
That is wild. That's absolutely wild.
That's unheard of. I probably don't place that many bets in a month, much less in a day. Like that's the first thing that stood out to me was just the amount of bets he placed. But after that, I think the fact that you gotta look at is the usernames, like how you use your real name when you know you're underage. Like it just to me seems
So
it's
did I
it's
hear?
it's beyond like
It's
stupid to me.
beyond stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I heard this correctly. He used Kayshon Boutte as his username, and he was placing so many bets he had to create another one. So it's Kayshon Boutte 01?
No, it was 01 and 07.
01 and 07? Okay. Yeah.
But still though, bro, like
You know how many?
then the fact that if you read it, if what I read, he put like 132,000 in and got up to 500 and some thousand, and then he withdrew 50,000. So did you lose $500,000 in
That's
bets?
what it sounds like.
Or I'm hoping that he still had some money left on the account. You know what I mean? He had a few 100,000 left on the account, and he just didn't withdraw it all at once. But kudos to him from getting up to 500,000 from 132,000. No, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm cashing out. If I get up there, I'm cashing out, and then I may start over.
$500,000, yeah, I'm out of here, bro.
I'm out. I might. Yeah. Bro, I done been sick. I done lost a $20 bet and been sick. I've lost a $5 bet on a parlay that was one leg away and been sick. If I get up to 500K and I lose on the leg, if I get up to 500K and all I gotta do is catch a touchdown or get so many yards and I drop them passes, I'm on watch, bro. I'll take my shoestrings and all that, bro. Like I ain't trying to make it like that's wild. That is wild. But I want to get to another point. But I messed up. What's up, everybody in the chat? Tyler in here. I moved on from Trump, I guess, and I'm with Hillary in 2024 now, according to Simple. What's good, Josh? Cousin Nick asked, "What you sipping on, Ant?"
A little bit of whiskey.
There you go. No specific name because they ain't sponsoring yet. But I just want to say, if you have a problem with gambling, there is a gambler's addiction hotline. Reach out and get help. Like seriously, if you are betting that much, get help. Here's another part of this story. We know that he bet on LSU. He bet on himself. What's up, Julian? My question is the optics of it. Did he point shave? I'm not saying he did, because here's the optics of it, especially because we know he bet on that first game and he put bets on himself to get 8, but it didn't say if he bet for or against.
It was over.
He bet the overs.
Mm-hmm. He bet over 80, and then he would over a touchdown, or
okay,
and then he would score a touchdown. But
okay, the reason I asked that because when you look at it, and we talked about the lackadaisical effort, that, you know what I'm saying, the attitude, the made his attitude seem, you know, like he, you know, so almost like nonchalant.
No, that's the game that he was having the outburst on the sideline, and Jaden had to go calm him down. So my thing was he mad about his play on the field, or was he mad about his parlay? But the Alabama game, he dropped a touchdown pass right before. Well, he caught the touchdown, but he dropped the ball before he crossed the goal line. And you remember they had to recover the ball in the end zone for a touchdown.
That was his freshman year. That was his freshman year that he did that.
That's right. But didn't he do that last year too? No, he didn't. He didn't. Somebody else did last year. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. You just gotta wonder if he bet against himself to go under and then dropped a few passes here and there because he did lead the team in passes. I mean, in drop passes. So
that's my thing. It's the optics of it. We did, because, you know, it's funny because we talked about this in Spaces. I was talking about like bets and stuff, and you know, and I was saying that, hey, I might as well bet on this team now because if my son goes there, I'm not gonna bet on them. And you know, you were like, huh? You know, and we talked about, I was like, because of the optics of it. Regardless, you know, so I wouldn't put him in that situation to where I say, hey, you know, say what's going on with the team, yada yada, and then place bets based off of that. But the optics of it could always look like that. Perfect example, and it turned out to be true. Perfect example, the Alabama baseball coach. You're making phone calls and stuff, and then, you know, you telling, hey, bet the, you know, saying money line for Alabama, LSU to beat us, and then you pull your starting pitcher.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff, you know.
Only thing, like Boutte dropped a lot of passes, so you could say that he bet against LSU and then went out there and dropped passes to help influence the game against LSU, to sway against LSU. But I'm not gonna put that on him until that comes out, because that's a very
yeah. I don't, but it's I'm saying what's on a lot of people's mind. I'm not saying maybe we should have played disclaimer. I'm not saying he did do that, but the optics of it look as if this is a possibility.
It's a possibility, but everything that's came out so far said that he bet for LSU and on himself to do well. So I don't think that.
So what?
Like, if you're gonna bet on yourself to begin with, why switch up and start betting against yourself?
Yeah. Good question. Good question. I hate how it looks. I pray that, you know, so like I said, he gets whatever help he needs. It's a bad situation. It's a bad place to put himself in. So
just got to be smarter than that, man.
Very smart. Golfers are allowed to bet on themselves, but it's a different situation. It's not a team situation. It's on yourself, and I think it makes no sense to bet unders in golf, or you know what I'm saying, you bet on a matchup. So unless I don't know, it's stupid. It seems stupid. Jared says, what's good, Jared? Jared says, I still don't think he did all that. No way that brother was betting 28 times a day. I think people got his account. Now, I will say this. I do think that I don't think it may not necessarily have been all him, but some of it was, because one of the logins and stuff was from Football Ops. So
yeah,
unless it's another player on the team, I get it. But I do, you know what I'm saying, there probably it was some other person, maybe a family member, that was doing, so making some of the bets. The thing about that though, and two people can't be logged in simultaneously.
True.
Because you know what I'm saying, with a lot of those betting services, they'll pull you out. So
yeah, they'll pull your location.
Yeah. What up? Terrence CJ Sampson says, Floyd Mayweather always bets on himself. I see a problem with it, but it shouldn't be that much legal trouble for him.
Yeah, that's true. The problem with legally for him was the felony computer fraud charge because he lied about his age and all that. He lied about his age and all that to get the account. So that's what. He caught it. I was about to say if he picked that, but so that's on. But I still don't think he'll get in much legal trouble.
Simple. Out top rope. Simple said that was Coy Moore betting on his account. Yeah, no. We get it. Jared says he's not saying he's innocent. He said I don't think he did all that betting. Yeah, I mean that's understandable, but still, man, still. So we hadn't got there, Danny, but I'm gonna bookmark that and talk about that. So next up, man, the Cajun Bash this past weekend, Junior Day, basically at LSU. From what we know, we do have one commitment out of that.
Corey doing work.
Yeah, we'll talk about the commitment in a second, but I saw a lot of pictures, a lot of guys taking pictures, a lot of guys doing, you know what I'm saying? What's the guy? Keelan Dillon. I'm sorry. Keelan Moses. Keelan Moses. I'm getting him and his brother. But Keelan Moses out there doing his thing, man, being a lead recruiter. So for everybody who's talking about Frank do all the recruiting, you gotta give Keelan Moses his respect too. I'm just saying. I just caught up the way you was at. But yeah, Keelan Moses, man. This 25 recruiting class seems like it's got it's gonna be special.
Potential. It's got a lot of potential for sure.
Yeah. But speaking of that, 25, the commitment, top 20 cornerback Jaboree Antoine commits to LSU.
Corey doing work.
Stop it. I know that's the first thing everybody said.
I'm dead serious. I mean, the dude was heavily predicted to go to Texas and other places, and then Corey gets hired. Dude comes on a visit here and commits here. Unless it's coincidence, I don't believe in those. So you got who else is it?
I think Corey has some benefits. I mean, in there. I mean, I'm not gonna take away from that from Corey, but wasn't Antoine coming here anyway? Well,
no.
Because isn't he Zy Alexander's cousin?
He is, but he was heavily predicted to go to Texas until Corey Raymond got here. Corey Raymond is from the same place he's from.
Okay.
They both from New Iberia.
Okay. That's big. I just don't, because I already know what it's going to be like. What is going to happen? Every time we get a commitment from a DB, the first thing everybody going to yell is Corey Raymond.
I mean, in this case, I think you got to give him credit because he already had with Jaboree and the fact that they both from New Iberia, and he wasn't predicted to come here until Corey Raymond got hired.
Gotcha. It's big. It's a big commitment. Yeah. I don't know who's next.
Somebody from the 318 is all I say.
I know it's not possible. I would love to have number one from just about every position, or at least position group. Because you got the quarterback, got the running back,
got
a cornerback, number one O lineman, number one D lineman, number one linebacker.
You got the number one receiver.
Yeah.
I'll take a top 3 at every position group.
That'll work. That'll work too. That'll work too. I like it. I like it. I think something else is going to another big announcement was made that's going to help with getting that. Austin Thomas.
Yeah, man.
Big name behind the scene. He was said previously working at Ole Miss, helping with their NIL situation. But he decided to leave poverty, come back to LSU.
Yeah, he came back where he wanted to be, man. His family from Louisiana. I think it's gonna be huge for off the field, behind the scenes, make chess move type role. But he's been here before. He knows what it's like to be at LSU, and it's just another guy that we added to this all-star staff, not just on the field coaches, but when you look at what they're doing with recruiting analysts and recruiting coordinators and things like that, and when Sherm, J.R. Belton, and all the people behind the scenes, this just another guy to add to the bunch.
Yeah. It's a big fourth down, 4th and 3, and Detroit going for it instead of kicking field goal. Okay.
Getting out coached.
Don't tell me. Your reactions just told me everything I need to know about the play. Why? Oh, he was late. All right. But yeah. What was his actual official title was kind of interesting because he was like associate, assistant, AD or something. I don't know.
It's some kind of one of them where you just made something up to make it sound good.
Yeah, it was word soup.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of word soup. All right, man. Let's talk about it. I know we talked about this kind of ad nauseum on Thursday night, but let's talk about it, man. The Lady Tigers took on number 1 South Carolina. Came up short. 6-point loss. What was it? 76-70?
Mm-hmm.
Initial thoughts on the game.
I mean, it went about as expected for the first half, I would say. They did a lot of the things we talked about on Thursday night, the way they or Wednesday night, I should say. The way they attacked Cardoza. Angel Reese shocked me in the way how she held her own defensively against Cardoza. But we got off to a great start. I think the environment helped a lot in that. The crowd played a big factor in the early start we jumped out to. But ultimately, I think it came down to a few things that you lost. Lack of depth, Angel Reese 5th foul, and Kim Mulkey using her timeouts in a weird way, in my opinion, is what came down to this. Kudos to South Carolina, man. Deep, talented team. They really don't have a weakness, and you saw that unfold on Thursday night. I think if LSU plays any other team in the country, the way they play Thursday night, they beat them. There's not a team in the country you don't beat playing like that except for South Carolina. But I think South Carolina just a better team right now. And if you play that game on a neutral court, I think South Carolina wins by like 10 to 12. If you play them in South Carolina, you might lose by 15. But I just think South Carolina is a deeper team right now, and they don't have the weaknesses or holes that LSU has.
Yeah. So Edwin asked, did we have a show Thursday? No, we actually had a Twitter space. So that's what we talked about it. You talked about different things where it came down to. It was one thing that you didn't say. Point guard play.
Yeah.
it's been talked about. Another thing that's been talked about ad nauseum was point guard play. I'm not putting this all on Haley Van Lith either. I'm not trying to say to bash the young lady. She played a pretty good game. She gave us more than what we kind of expected. The problem is not just with her, but when Poet came in as well, it seemed like the moment was too big, and we ended up with turnovers and mental mistakes and mental errors that ultimately put you behind the 8 ball. You get lost on screens and on defense, and next thing you know, it's a 3-point at the buzzer. Okay, it doesn't, 3-point at the buzzer. Oh well, it doesn't really affect you. Then you come to the end of the half, it's another 3-point at the buzzer. It's like, oh, okay, that's another one. And my math is not always the best. 3 + 3 is what?
The amount that you lost by.
Okay. I'm not putting this all on Haley, but it's small things like that end up adding up. Missing free throws, that also adds up. When you have turnovers, you lose possessions. I know of 3 turnovers. 3 times 2 is what, Ant?
That's 6 points.
Okay. I'm not saying we score on all those possessions, but all this adds up. All this stuff matters. So that's why when it comes down to, go ahead.
Not to mention Andrew Reese's 5th foul came off of a Haley Van Lith turnover.
Yeah. We call timeouts to kill our own momentum. We call timeouts late in the game. It's a wrap. I'm just saying. Mentally, those things are what hurt you. As veteran as Kim Mulkey is, I'm never questioning whether she's a good coach. She knows more basketball she's forgot more basketball I'll ever know. But in that moment, it felt more like she was in more of a panic or a little bit more overwhelmed than what we saw from Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley she looked calm, cool, calm, and collect. Mm-hmm. Her team got frustrated, but you could see them look cool, calm, and collect. Cousin Nikki said that in Spaces. She talked about that, about how she noticed that she never saw her panic. Never saw Dawn panic. It's the same mentality we see in Nick Saban when he was on, be on the sidelines, teams down 10, and there's no panic. They come back, they make a push. They may not necessarily win, but you never see a panic in that team. No matter the situation, championship game, first game of the season, rivalry game, you never see them panic. Never. The players don't panic. They play, and it looks like they've been there before.
Because they have. South Carolina's tested. They've been in them games this year where they had to go up against a Utah, or they had to go up against a NC State, a team, you know what I'm saying? A North Carolina team, good caliber teams. LSU hadn't done that. LSU hadn't put themselves in a situation where they have been really tested this year. So whenever they get to that point, and it is make or break time, it is crunch time, it is high intense moments, they haven't been there before. They don't know how to revert back to the last situation, and we've been here before. We know what to do. They don't know. They haven't been tested, and that's on Kim and her staff. Whoever made the schedule, ultimately Kim has the final say. She's the head coach. So test your team more. Put yourselves in more situations where you are in crunch time situations where it's put up or shut up, and it's make or break, and you got to make a play. Then whenever you get in these situations in conference play versus South Carolina, this isn't your first time facing the fire.
Yeah, I definitely would love to see more. And I'll say this: I give Kim praise for playing, HBCU teams and going to HBCU teams, to play and stuff. But at the end of the day, you still got to add some, you got to add some more to it, some meat to that schedule, to that non-conference. The first non-conference test you played, you got beat to sleep in the opening game of the season. Then you played Virginia Tech, which was, I don't know if it was fool's gold. I think Virginia Tech is a good team. But that helped you out. That taught you a little something about your team. But then after that, you play Jacksonville. You play Mississippi Valley State. You play Texas Southern. You play Coppin State in Baltimore. And granted,
Eastern Louisiana and teams like that. I mean, it's good for the state, but that's not good for your program.
Again, I just want to see more of a challenge. I want to see the girls more prepared. I want to see, people. We talked about her. We talked about depth. We got talented players. They don't play. Not everybody plays. Let's be real. If Samaya Smith isn't injured, we might not see Del Rosario. We may not even know how good she is. She's literally playing out of necessity. Velez, I don't know how. I mean, I know she's, when she's come in, she's made mistakes and stuff, but she's also played pretty well, can shoot, but we don't see that much. She's not in the rotation. What's Kent? That's another one.
And that's what's so crazy about it, is because you've played so many games where you've had blowout wins that you would have thought that your starting five wouldn't be playing 30 minutes in those games. You would think that you can rest your starter some in those games and get the Kents and the Velez and Monty Bartlett's more playing time, but you still play them. And I understand to a certain extent that they need playing time together because they're all new and they need that chemistry. But at the same time, so do the freshmen. They need that playing time. So you got to find a better way to balance that to where the freshmen aren't not seeing the floor to the point to where they can't be playing in conference games. I mean, you're doing your team a disservice.
Yeah. Edwin asked, do they play early season tournaments? They played in Bahamas, but I'm trying to think who was there.
It was like a round robin deal. That's where they played Virginia Tech at.
Okay, so
but it wasn't. They played another. Who did they play in that game? They played another Power 5 school, but it wasn't. Let me see. Virginia. Oh no, they played Niagara in the Cayman Islands Classic. That's where they played Virginia. Then they played Virginia Tech in the ACC SEC Classic thing.
Yeah, not the toughest. So, I think I don't want to just be a bash session. I do say this about the girls. And you mentioned earlier how, saying if they play any other team, they, saying like they play, you think that's a dub. I believe that this team showed that they can repeat. It's not going to be easy. But I think they got the toughness to do it. I think they've got the skills to do it. The depth is going to be an issue. Yeah. Well, the experience depth is going to be an issue. You bring somebody off the bench, they may be talented enough, but how much depth, experience do they have? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not just being a body out there. Because we saw, like we said, Del Rosario. She came up big. She gave you points that you were just bonus. All we needed was that she was going to, saying, hey, body up, play good defense. And then she added points to that.
Yeah.
Later in the game, she played, it was a little timid, but yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of playing timid and stuff, men's basketball team.
Didn't watch a second of it.
Let me fill you in. First half, they looked good. They kept it close. Hold on, let me go back. Danny said, whoa, Pugh is drinking Keys Kool-Aid now. I don't think we have the defensive play depth or consistent percent or perimeter shots to make it far in the tournament, but next year could be special. Okay, that's fair. But let me ask you this. At what point in the game were we even out of the game that we played against the number one team? At what point were we out of that game? Even at the end, we had a shot. We didn't make it, but we had a shot. So I'm saying, as much as South Carolina beat us or beat LSU, LSU beat themselves as well. We could talk about, she said the last 4 minutes when Angel was out.
Yeah, they went on an 11-3 run, bro.
Yeah. So again, so does Angel foul out every time we play them?
She'll be in foul trouble every time we play them.
So at what point, when we talked about Del Rosario, when I said I want to use some of those fouls with Del Rosario?
I mean, you want to, but Kim ain't doing that though.
So do we not learn from our mistakes? That's all I'm saying.
Apparently Kim hadn't, because she ain't played her bench none this year.
That's all I'm saying. That you don't have the home field advantage in the tournament. You do for the first.
We're not gonna play them first 2 rounds. If you play South Carolina, it's gonna be in the Final Four, which is in Indianapolis, I think.
Yeah, so they're not gonna have home field. But anytime LSU has ever traveled for a championship or bowl or whatever, for the most part, we've taken a crowd with us. South Carolina's gonna bring a crowd. When last year, when they was in the Final Four playing Iowa. I'm not saying, and I understand what you're saying, but they also won't have home field.
I don't think they need it though.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. There's a avenue. Like I said, can they win it? Yes. Will they win it? I don't know. We gotta see how much they learn, how much they grow, and go from there. So that's all I'm saying about that. Nah, it's not so much drinking the Kool-Aid as seeing, that there is a path for them. There's a lot that I learned from this team. They are resilient, and I like what I saw. So, back to the men's first half, close game. It was back and forth. Ended up, they started pulling away late in that first half. I think the last 2 or 3 minutes. But Alabama's offense, all they do is shoot threes.
Mm-hmm.
All they do is shoot threes, and so that's all they did was shoot threes.
LSU can't defend the perimeter for nothing.
No, that's been an issue going back to Will Wade, defending the 3-point shot. They kept it close. For the most part, they did run them off the 3-point line a lot, but then they got away from it, and then we started trying to see hero ball. Then we started seeing, the isolation, the one-on-ones, and it just didn't work. It doesn't work.
I can't really say nothing because I ain't watched the game, but
yeah, I know.
It sounds like what we've kind of seen from this team. They hang around just because of their fight and just because of their heart, but ultimately they don't have really the talent that Matt McMahon really needs to compete night in and night out in the SEC at that level. So that fight and that passion only gets you so far, but then later in the games, the other teams out talent us, or the talent gap starts to show late in games, whether it's them knocking down a bunch of threes or them just having more bodies to sub in and out, being fresher, and so they're making more plays late in the game. But whatever it is, it just seems like the late and second half is always whenever they start to kind of fall apart.
I haven't even looked at LSU realistically should be 5-2 in the conference play right now. They let games against both Georgia and against Texas A&M slip through their hands. And I think that's the difference in this team probably making the tournament or getting an NIT invite at this point. They got to find a way to finish.
Yeah.
Trying to pull up the schedule to see who they got next. I know the girls play Mississippi State tomorrow.
Yeah, Arkansas.
The boys, they got Arkansas at home on Saturday. They'll play again till Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
At 11 o'clock too. Arkansas is turn it down. Arkansas is another team that seems that they up and down too.
Yeah, they're not that good this year. So compared to what they have been under Musselman.
All right. NFL championship weekend is just about a wrap. We got an onside kick. Oh,
he touched it too soon.
Yeah, touched it. Wait, he was like right at the line, wasn't it?
Oh no, that's the 45. Yeah, he was past the line.
Yeah, that was right at the line, but they just missed it. So
if only they would have kicked one of them field goals earlier.
Yeah, everyone just talked said one they kicked them two. Oh nah, that was he was right before the line. All right, so let me ask this question. Who blew it more? Baltimore or I guess this is an easy one. I'm gonna say
Detroit had a 24-7 lead.
Yeah. And I do want to point this out. For the game, Dylan said, Dad, I'm gonna predict this game. I said, okay, what you got? He said, I think the 49ers gonna win. I said, they losing by 17 right now. He was like, they gonna come back and they gonna win by 3. Very smart young man.
Yeah, you should have listened to him with your bets.
Yeah, well, he told me. He told me till late. So
still should have live bet it.
Probably would have got a little money off of it, made up for all this other stuff. But yeah, man. Now we looking at a rematch from 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
San Fran versus Kansas City. Yeah, stay about that. Hey, go sit down. Go to bed. But yeah, we're looking at a rematch.
I don't even really care about Super Bowl now.
Say that again. You can say that again. I could care less at this point. We'll talk more about it. We'll probably have to get our guys on with some of they see if we can get AB on and talk about some of these Super Bowl bets. But yeah, I don't even care.
Lamar Jackson gonna get killed for like the next weeks. Todd Monken set that man up for failure today. They ran like 8 called like design run plays all game for a team that led the league in rushing. How do you only run 8 design run plays? It just seemed like they just felt like
it was 3rd and 1 and they ran a pass play.
Yeah, it's like they were just like let's make Lamar put his cape on and go out there and beat the Chiefs instead of sticking with what they've got them there, what they've done all season long, which is run the ball. Just didn't make any sense to me, man. So I know he gonna catch hell for that interception he threw in the end zone, which was a bad play. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, if Zay Flowers don't fumble the ball into the end zone, it's a different game.
If Zay Flowers don't taunt,
it's a different game. So I mean, like, it's it's a lot that you can put on Lamar, but I think he gonna get way too much criticism for this game, way too much blame for this game. Whenever he was set up for failure by his play caller to begin with.
Danny asked this earlier. She came in late. Said, as did we discuss OBJ senior comments or Michael Thomas throwing Carl under the bus. So I don't think that was OBJ daddy. Not for real.
I think that's a fake account. At least
So
I hope it's a fake. I hope it's a fake account.
I don't see. So, and I must have turned the game off too early because I think I turned the game off after it went under 2 minutes and they got the first down. Kansas City got the first down, but why would anybody blame OBJ? Why? So you know what I'm saying? There would be no need for him to.
I didn't see the man out there.
He went out there for like 2. He caught the first down after they ran that pass on 3rd and 1, and then 4th and 3 after he got sacked. He you know what I'm saying, he caught the first down, and then they ran him out there and ran like 2 long deep passes to him, trying to get a draw a pass interference call that they weren't getting.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't really see him out there like he was more so just like a decoy type when he was out there.
I forgot about that. TDP going to the Super Bowl.
TDP versus Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. With that said, man, yeah, I don't really care much.
Me neither.
I don't care much.
I hit a parlay though, so I ain't tripping.
Congratulations, man. Must be nice. Kayson's his best. The Falcons hired Raheem Morris as head coach. Congratulations to him getting another opportunity. LSU fans were a little nervous because it felt like or for at least for a second, they thought they could be losing their co-offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach and passing game coordinator in Cortez Hankton. But Raheem said, nah, I'm bringing Zach Robinson with me. And Zach Robinson is now the new OC.
I hate to be that guy, but as soon as I saw that, one thing came to my mind. Like Cortez Hankton interviewing for the Atlanta Falcons coordinator job. The only thing that came to my mind, Rooney Rule. I think like, don't get me wrong, I think it was like he chose Cortez for a reason. I think there is some kind of connection there, and he likes Cortez. He's giving him interview experience, you know, all these types of things, getting his name out there, all like that. But I don't know if he would have been hiring a first-time play caller as his offensive coordinator in this situation.
Oh man. That was my thought. First time play caller, your first year as a head coach. And this isn't his first time coaching, but we know I ain't gonna say he on a short leash, but he's not. I don't feel like he's gonna necessarily get the benefit of the doubt.
But shout out, man. That's 4 minority coaches. This rip.
Him, Mayo. Who else?
Antonio Pierce.
And I forgot about Antonio Pierce.
Dave
who?
Dave Canales.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Speaking of that, Julian says it's going to be a tough 2 weeks for us Raiders fans, having KC and the 49ers going to Vegas and having KC practicing at the Raiders facility. Thanks. Hey, as we get close to the end of the show, I want to open up the phone lines, man. Make sure they are open first. Phone lines are open. Give us a call. Because I got a question that I'm sure y'all want to get in on. Phone number 225-308-1234. That's 225-308-1234. And I got a question for you, Ant.
What up?
Horns down. Texas went to BYU yesterday in basketball. BYU fans or students had on shirts that spelled out horns down. Texas is again, saying kind of pouty about that. BYU coach said they asked the students to take the shirts off. Is it fair or foul for this whole horns down situation?
I mean, I think it's fair. How many times do people are people allowed to get away with an anti-gay slander? I mean, let the Texas fans have their moment, have their little symbol, and any disrespect to their symbol can be seen as disrespect to the gays. So we're not gonna do that.
Wait. How's it disrespect? Wait, I'm confused. How is it disrespect? Wait, what?
Texas fans, what they say, only two things in Texas. Right.
Oh.
So I mean, if they're a Texas fan, it could be seen as disrespectful to the gays. So you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let any gay slander get tolerated here. So
man. What a disclaimer.
I'm just playing though. But I think it shows a lot of sensitivity from Texas, bro. Like at some point you got to get over it, dog. Like people gonna taunt you, people gonna make fun of you, people like the opposing teams do the Florida Gator chomp all the time. Like ain't really no offense in it.
We'll explain. So hold on, D-Law. So he's trying to find a connection, still trying to find the connection. So I had to think about it when he said there's only two things. You ever heard the saying there's only two things in Texas, steers and so that's what he got there. So yeah. Here is my gripe about the Texas thing. The coach got mad at the UCF players for doing it in the line. If I'm a player for Texas, I'm looking at my coach like, bro, you got us looking soft. We look soft as a unit.
What makes it worse is he got up there and he said, we act like we've been there before. Ain't no jumping up and down, celebrating and all that. Act like you've been there before. Then the next game, Texas won on a buzzer beater, a late layup, and this dude jumping up and down like he just won the title. Act like you've been there before, coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so hypocritical. That's what makes it even worse.
I think what made this whole situation worse and Edwin points out, said OU always says and does, saying the horns down. Well, I think it makes it worse. Big 12 started giving people penalties.
Yeah, that made them. Don't expect that from the SEC. I'm gonna lose a lot of respect if the SEC give Texas.
Don't worry about it.
If Texas is like, if the SEC makes that a flag to do the horns down to Texas, I'm gonna lose a lot of respect for the SEC, man.
They better not, bro. You know how many times now? I remember, like the Johnny Manziel, saying money symbol when TJ Yeldon scored, did the money symbol and then the throat slash. I remember when they said, hey, you can't, say it's fine doing that, but you can't do the throat slash.
Yep.
When Alabama was doing the Mr. Miyagi or whatever, and teams would play against them and do it, Or when LSU was doing, you know what I'm saying, the gritty or get the gat, and people was doing that, you know what I'm saying, when they scored on LSU, it's a part of the game. Talk a little trash. If I score on you and I do your, you know what I'm saying, the horns down, that shouldn't be a 15-yard penalty. Especially if I'm not doing it to you, like in your face doing it. If I'm facing the crowd and I do it to the crowd.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's weak though, man. Either way, that's pretty weak.
That's soft, man. That's soft. So I don't know, man. I think it's like you said, hypocritical, stupid. There's no place in this game. Softness, that is. Well, man, we're about to wrap it up. Now it's official. 49ers Chiefs. I don't really care much. I was really looking forward to
the Black Super Bowl.
Man, what's with Usher performing too? Now they're gonna find a way to get Taylor Swift in some kind of way. I got a feeling.
So now that we know who won this weekend, bigger for the legacy of Shanahan and Purdy, or bigger for the legacy of Mahomes and Reed?
It'll be Shanahan and Purdy. Shanahan, if he wins, it'll being the first, it'll be big for him. It's gotta be. If he loses, he is a career. Well, no, I don't know. He is Andy. You might want to say he Andy Reid 2.0. Andy Reid would get there and couldn't finish it.
Andy Reid had only got to one
Super Bowl, but he got to the NFC Championship so many times.
But
or Marv Levy.
Marv Levy got the 4 Super Bowls in a row though. So he may be I don't know. I think it says a lot about Mahomes though, bro. Like Mahomes done made 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. He's made the same amount of Super Bowls as Peyton Manning in 6 years as a starter.
More than Peyton Manning. Peyton only went to 3, right?
Peyton went to 4. He went to 2 with the Colts and 2 with the Broncos.
He went to go to 2 with Colts. He only went 1 with the Broncos.
No, he didn't.
He did. You're right, because they lost to Seattle.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Oh, they got blasted by Seattle.
Same as Montana, same as Terry Bradshaw. And it's only like 2 coaches that's been to more Super Bowls than Andy Reid at this point.
A valid point.
So I understand what it means for Shanahan finally winning one, and Brock Purdy being the 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant and winning the Super Bowl. But what it does for Mahomes and Andy Reid is push them in like all-time greatness type categories. If Mahomes gets a 3rd, he got more than Brady. I mean, he got more than Manning. In 6 years as a starter, he would have more rings than Manning. He'd have more than Breeze and Aaron Rodgers combined.
Willie Bowden said he says he's MJ on the football field, but Mahomes will be there every other year at least.
I mean, at this point, at 4-6, dog, like four of 6, dog. That's crazy, man.
D-Law says, I feel like Mahomes and Reid are already at that all-time greatness mark.
I mean, yeah, they there, but this is like they jumping greats now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just walking into the party, Like if all the elites are in a line, they was in the line at one point, you know what I'm saying? But now they skipping people in line. Man, that's
Daniel
Mahomes.
said, remember the luck conversation the other night about the Patriots? I feel like Mahomes has had just as much, if not more, luck.
More? I don't know if I can give you that one.
I don't know about more luck. Now, I
This is the difference between Brady and Mahomes to me. Name me 1 year Mahomes got to the Super Bowl when it wasn't because of him that they got there.
I know something I was going to ask you about this. We always hear about home field advantage.
Yeah.
I saw no semblance of home field advantage today with in the Baltimore Kansas City game. Granted, Kansas City played a phenomenal first half. I'm not going to do the whole referee thing, but I'm not going to do the whole, they only there because of the referee thing. But it felt like Baltimore got no calls. No call. And they kept getting calls on them.
What call? Like, I don't think there was anything egregious today.
So
no, I would say there was a holding on likely at the end of the game they didn't call. I give you that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was like and when I say that, I mean like looking in the first half, because there's nothing looking at it like, oh, that changed the game. But like in the first half, there was a point where, and I'm not the end of the first half, because the end of the first half they got like back-to-back like roughing the passer calls or something crazy like that. But they were getting like every time they get the third down, they get a stop or something. It would be like a defensive holding, or it'd be, you know what I'm saying, league of hands. I can't remember what it was. It just kept happening at the end of, and I was like, man, it was just like, and they just kept keeping drives alive. And that's where it started like wearing down.
I don't know about that.
I'm just maybe I'm tripping, because I do know when you look at stats, they tell a different story. Let me look at like the.
I mean, it was Baltimore had more penalties, but Baltimore is the more physical team, so they're gonna have more penalties usually. You know what I mean? Like, but
and some of it, and I guess maybe I just felt like some of it was a little ticky tack. You know, some like one, like some of the calls, you're like, okay, yeah, I see that. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Some of it was
like the roughing the passer on Clowney, that was obvious. You know what I mean? Like, he lowered his head and took 2 steps. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Baltimore was taken out of their game. Like, how can I explain this? I feel like Baltimore, they got Baltimore out of their game. Like the taunting on Zay Flay. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Baltimore
that was terrible.
But even like the one the one with Travis Kelce got the late hit. You know what I mean? Like, Travis Kelce pushed, then he pushed again. You know what I mean? Like, Baltimore was doing more reactionary type stuff to get flagged for it.
Yeah, and maybe that's just what I, you know what I'm saying? I was like, it just felt like every time there was a momentum or every time it was always just something that was just constantly a penalty. So also, he said Purdy made plays today that everyone expected out of Lamar. Some strong irony. I can't say that.
I mean, Purdy got lucky with a ricochet,
Yeah,
pass picked off and got caught for a 50-yard gain. I mean, Purdy made plays, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like you can put all that on Purdy and you can't put all of that on Lamar. Because if Zay Flowers don't fumble the ball, then that's a different ball game. If Lamar's offensive coordinator helps him out, the way that Purdy's play caller helped him out, then it's a different ball game. I mean, Lamar led his team in rushing. His second leading rusher had 20 yards. Versus if you look at for Purdy, Christian McCaffrey ran for 90 yards. I mean, that's a big difference in what they have around them as a supporting cast. So it's not as easy just to look at, oh, he did this, he did this. Like, what situations were they put in?
I don't know, man. I hate everything about the Super Bowl coming up. Everything, every little bit of it. When it was, I'm not. When it was,
I want to hear about Brock Purdy, dog.
When it was Baltimore, I'm tired of hearing about Mahomes and
at
Andy Reid.
At least Mahomes and Andy Reid are all-time greats. Brock Purdy is not, and they putting him up there as one of the greats.
He get that second contract, go and try to go to a different team. And Shanahan is back with a third different quarterback in the championship.
What is the athletic disadvantage for Purdy? His skin color? Like, come on now, bro. Like, we're not finna do this. Simple over here saying Purdy is at an athletic disadvantage.
He trolling. Simple trolling. I'm just
if you swap them teams around him, put Lamar Jackson on the 49ers and put Brock Purdy on the Ravens.
We might have our second ever undefeated team. Ever. If you got somebody else calling plays for now, I'll say this. Todd Monken has called a great season until today. Yeah, until today.
He was horrible today, man. But
if you Baltimore, you gotta get Lamar some more weapons. You got to give him another wide receiver.
Worst coaching performance today, Todd Monken or Dan Campbell?
Worst was Monken. Campbell. Monken called the game the same the entire game, and then making adjustments to get right. Dan Campbell then making adjustments to stay aggressive. Well, you gotta know. You got to know to take the points.
I can make the argument. Dan Campbell has been who he was all year. Whereas Todd Monken made a switch from who he has been all year. Like don't get me wrong. I understand what like Danny's saying in the comments. Like Dan Campbell cost his team points when he could have took field goals but didn't. But that's been Dan Campbell all year long. Whereas Todd Monken kind of reverted away from who he has been to let's put everything on Lamar. And that hasn't been who he has been. So I think it's worse for Monken because he went away from who he has been all year.
Man, D-Law, call up the line because I want to talk about this. He says, don't play the blame game. Baltimore OC didn't overthrow the balls in the fourth. I don't think that's the whole thing. When you're the best rushing offense in the league, and
you talking about the fourth quarter. What about the other 3 quarters? Like let's talk about the fact that Gus Edwards had 3 rushing attempts. Justice Hill had 3 rushing attempts. Zay Flowers had 2 rushing attempts. That is 8 designed runs.
And Lamar had 8.
8 designed runs compared to 37 pass attempts for Lamar. Objective is to win the game. Lamar had the chances. Okay, if the objective is to win the game, then why not take some of the stuff off of Lamar to help him win the game? Kansas City has good pass rushers and they're horrible against the run. You played into their hands by dropping back 40-something times. I'm not saying Lamar was great today. I'm far from that. He didn't play well. But at the same time, they could have helped Lamar out by running the ball.
It's too simple. Appreciate Simple's gave $2 super chat said for Purdy Pigment. Yeah, that's.
I know Lamar could have been better. There's no disagreement with me from that. But they could have got a lot more help from his play caller too, man. He threw for 272 and a touchdown and an interception.
He literally Gus Edwards had 3 carries for 20 yards. His long was 15. They were gashing.
See, D-Live said, "Oh, Lamar could have ran himself." That's the thing. You saying Lamar put your cape on and go beat these boys by yourself. That's not smart as a play caller. And Lamar still led the team in rushing yards and threw for 275. Like, what more do you want the man to do?
I'll say if Lamar does that, just takes off running, he gets criticized because he's not quarterbacky enough. He's running all you're just a runner. You're just a running back playing quarterback. Well, if he sits in the pocket.
We're gonna agree to disagree, D-Live, because you want the man to go out there and be Superman, be a superhero, and that you can't do that in the AFC Championship game, man. You playing Mahomes on the other side, and you want this man to go out there and lead the team in rushing, passing, and receiving.
Ironically, those two teams are built the same. Very similar.
Yeah, except on the other side, Pacheco ran the ball for 24 times, 24 carries. They took some of the pressure off of Mahomes.
Neither one has a real number one wide receiver. Both rely on the tight end heavily. Unfortunately, the Ravens tight end is coming back from injury.
They ran the ball 24 times with Pacheco compared to 8 rushing attempts. 3 times as many rushing attempts, dog.
They had 32 overall rushes for 89 yards at that.
Compared to 16 rushing attempts by the Ravens. Like, I just don't
Not to mention, if you run the ball, you control the clock.
And you keep Mahomes on the sideline. And you keep that defense off the field as much. But, yeah, I mean, let's put it all on Lamar. Go get your cape, Lamar. And even then, if Zay Flowers don't fumble, it's a totally different game.
Mm-hmm. I also completely disagree with people talking about they need to get rid of the touchback rule for fumbling in the end zone. Keep it. The only people I ever hear say that is when they team lose. It's the only time. All right, who got called? Somebody over here. All right, you're calling the Golden Boot. Who we got with us? Hello, caller. Who is this?
I can't hear nothing.
Nah, I ain't saying that. All right. I don't know. It might have been D-Log. I don't know. Let me see what the area code. That's somebody out of Chicago. See. You hear anything? Okay, I hear you now. I hear you now. Who is this? I just heard her.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Who's this? This is Danny. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can't hear you, Danny.
I just heard it.
Hey, Danny, turn your background
There's
down.
a delay. This is Danny. Can you hear me?
Hey, I can't hear you, Danny.
Okay, I can't hear y'all on the phone. I can only hear you on the computer.
Let's see. Let me see something. Let's try.
I can't. When I turn my background down, I can't hear you at all because I can't hear you on the phone. I can only hear you on the computer.
All right, well, go ahead, Danny. What you got for us?
Oh, I hear it now. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We got you.
Hello?
That is not my internet. Yeah, we hear you, Danny. I don't know what was going on. I can hear her. Could you hear?
Yeah, I can hear her. I don't know. I'm not tech savvy enough to know what's going on.
Fine. Maybe that worked. I don't know. We're gonna see. Danny, we can hear you.
Oh, she finna type a question in.
Yeah, she's gonna type a question in.
Ooh. Why is Lamar taking all the heat, but Goff is not taking any? That is a great. I would guess because one was the MVP and one isn't.
That is a excellent question. She says 25 or 41.
That is a very good question. One is the MVP and one isn't. That would be my guess. But I mean, I think Goff does deserve some criticism. He wasn't great today. He threw a lot of passes that was off the mark. And I know that some of those could have been caught, like the pass on 4th down to Reynolds and things like that. But I still feel like he could have been better at times also. Man, he over here killing your internet.
Hey, he trying to. I don't know why.
That man
Been
said
working just fine.
He said you get Good Morning America at 3 in the afternoon.
That's funny.
Oh man. But yeah, that's a good point, Edwin. He said one also is in a winning organization where the other isn't. That's a good point. The Lions just happy to be there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I mean, Jared Goff is a former number 1 overall pick, though, and I feel like as a former number 1 overall pick, he doesn't get nowhere near the level of criticism I've seen other number 1 overall picks get.
D-Love says, and I think that's completely different. He says, so that also indirectly implying that Lamar deserves the heat. LOL. No, I don't. I think it's the opposite. I'm not saying Lamar deserves the heat.
He's saying Lamar deserves the heat because he's the MVP. But MVP or not, if you're not put in a position by your play calling to be advantageous, like they didn't put you in situations that were an advantage for the Ravens. So it's all your fault, Lamar. I just never understood that train of thought.
What?
Ooh, Hendon Hooker. I forgot he was on Detroit.
Then it say, I think Goff is serviceable at best, and Hooker may be the better option moving forward. No, that's interesting. I mean, I guess he's a quarterback of the future, but what gives me?
He said that's just how the cookie crumbles for an MVP quarterback.
But he took the Rams to a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Goff is sneaky athletic.
I just feel like if Lamar Jackson had a 24-7 lead and blew it in the championship game, I feel like he would. Nah, I feel like if he would have blown a 24-7 lead in the game, he would get way more criticism than Jared Goff gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
So her point is, if it's Campbell and not Goff, then why is it not Monken and not Lamar? Double standard, or not even Monken? Why is it not Harbaugh? Yeah, I get it. It's that staff. So
I just feel like I said, Jared Goff not gonna get near the criticism he deserves for this comeback.
Lamar, not Lamar. The Ravens were also a favorite, no matter against both the NFC teams. In the look ahead, Kansas City was only a favorite against Detroit. They're underdog against San Francisco. Yeah. Said Lions lost because they got out coached by a long shot. I think they got too comfortable. I think they got too comfortable too.
Could you say that the Ravens also got out coached?
Yeah. Offensively, yeah. Defense made a lot of adjustments. When Burrow beats Mahomes, matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect one. Went away. When Burrow beats Mahomes, Burrow gets the credit, but no one comes after Mahomes. I give you a perfect example. The Super Bowl that the Chiefs lost to the Buccaneers. I heard several excuses, several reasons. Most of the offensive line was hurt and injured. Okay.
He didn't have starting tackles.
I heard, didn't have you starting two tackles. Then I heard it was a distraction because Andy Reid's son was in that car accident. So the team wasn't focused. Oh, okay. Heard that one. Hell, Brady played piss poor in what's called, but he got all the credit. Oh, he's the GOAT. He's got X number of championships. No matter the team, doesn't matter. He can win one without Belichick. He didn't even win the division that year, if I'm not mistaken.
They didn't. Saints won.
Mm-hmm. And defense played out of their mind.
Yeah, that's why they won, because Mahomes was running for his life that whole game.
But again, and she's right about that.
Yeah,
Simple say. I'm say didn't watch the Ravens, but they always get out coached. Unless he coaching against his brother.
They got out coached today for sure. Todd Monken got out coached by Spagnuolo.
Speaking of pass not blame, why is Simple blaming my internet when we had a successful call last week? I'm blaming Danny. We all could hear. She couldn't hear us. But y'all blaming my internet. See how that worked? I'm just saying.
Who was it then?
The internet. It was her phone.
Oh, it's her internet. I got you.
It was her phone. Yeah, she called from a trap phone. Nah, seriously. Oh, now that's a lie. Oh, wait. He said, listen, all I'm saying is Ant never freezes up you. I ain't gonna throw my man under the bus. But
my internet has gotten a lot better lately, sir.
It has. It's gotten better. I'm just saying. I see what it is.
Yours has gotten worse.
Hold up. I done figured it out. Simple came in here caping for Purdy. Now he caping for the light-skinned brother. Simple. Do we need to have a sit down and talk, my man? I think I see the problem.
My internet got better. Yours got worse.
I know, right? I know. I probably got too much stuff running on this computer. That's probably what
that was my problem. That's why my internet was bad. I had to start coming out and shut the shit down before the show started.
he said you gonna blame it on the white lady. You can't do that in Biden's America. All right, show over. We finna get canceled. Oh man, that's funny. That is hilarious.
Y'all crazy, man.
Make internet great again. Let's do this. Danny said, "How you know I'm white? Your picture,
transracial,
your voice."
She identifies as something else.
Identifies as Monique.
Y'all crazy, man. We about to get canceled like a mud.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get ready to get up out of here.
Elon Musk gonna kick us off Twitter for this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do. I got one more thing. Go ahead and make your prediction. Dylan got a prediction for the Super Bowl. Go ahead.
I have two predictions for the Super Bowl. Okay. My first prediction is Chiefs are going to win by 14 points. Second prediction, Chiefs are going to.
So you think they're going to either win by 3 or 14?
My 49ers prediction was right.
Yeah, it was.
What's a big ass difference? 3 and 14.
I know. I we working on that. He been taking his betting picks from Kayshon. So we gonna see. I was with him. He said that 14. I was like, whoa, I don't know about that one. 3 might be. I'm just thinking. The 2 wins that they've had have both been by 3, right?
Who that?
Chiefs that in the Super Bowl. They beat I know they beat the Eagles by 3. What they beat the 49ers by? That was by 3 too, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Or was that a little bit more?
I don't remember. I just know that if Jimmy Garoppolo makes that pass to Emmanuel Sanders, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. What's called a shoulder was messed up that year too. Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Nope, they beat them by 11. That's right. They were down. If I'm not mistaken. It was like 20-14, something like that. And going to the 4th, something like that. I mean, interesting. I ain't gonna care, but it's gonna be interesting.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Got another call. Let's see if this works this time. Just called the Golden Boot. Who is this?
Hello.
Hey, who is this?
It's simple, man.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear us? Talk to us, Simple.
Hey, I can hear you, man. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Nah, that's Craig. Sound like.
It do sound like Craig. That ain't...
Hell yeah, that's Craig.
Oh, this Craig. What up, man?
You can't hear me, huh?
I can.
I can hear. I can hear Pooh Bear. I can hear Ant.
What's up, Craig? How you doing, bro?
And you might have to talk then.
I'm good, man. All I gotta say is just one thing, man. Is I think 49ers won because of Christian McCaffrey, the way he was pounding that ball in. Detroit couldn't stop that run.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. McCaffrey was big today, man. 90 rushing yards, touchdown. I mean, yeah, he was a big part of that game.
Yep.
Who you got for the Super Bowl, Craig?
Well, Kansas City Chiefs gonna win it.
Oh, you got the Chiefs? Yeah, I think you're probably right about that, bro.
The refs got cheap for Mahomes in there.
Yeah, you're probably right, man. Appreciate you for calling, Craig.
The Chiefs gonna win it.
Let me see now. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too, Craig.
All right, appreciate it. All right.
I don't know what happened. It was a long delay though.
On this computer. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. So they can hear you now. They can't hear me. It's something with the setting on this thing here. I'm gonna
I
get it
don't know.
figured out.
We'll
We'll get it figured out. All right, let's go ahead and get up out of here. We've been on here long enough. Side of them. What you call it? So Danny asked this. She did ask this earlier, and I forgot to ask about it. She said, did the Michael Thomas tweet pretty much seal that he is not returning, or so he felt free to be honest?
Exactly what it felt like to me. That's exactly what it felt like to me. I think he know he gone, so he just speaking freely now.
A lot of people said feel like he threw Derek Carr under the bus.
I mean, all he did was say that he got hurt because of Derek Carr, pretty much. I mean, if that's throwing him under the bus by telling the truth, then hey, it is what it is. Derek Carr done thrown plenty of receivers under the bus this year.
He underthrew him too. All right. We'll get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll be back on, I don't know, maybe later this week, next week. I don't know. We'll see. Just turn on your notifications and look out for us. We'll let you know. But like that, yeah. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!